Hello, NetJets team, Matt Bergen. One of the items you asked us to walk through on the scorecard was what the termination process looks like, and how you can edit and modify and manage that. So we'll look at terming an employee. We're currently logged in as Tessa Walker. We have a variety of ways to access the employee. We can access the employee profile. We'll do it directly from Action Search, and I'm actually just going to James. We'll look at James Klein. So I can jump into his employee profile first before I complete the term. I actually don't have to. If you can recall from our conversation on the first day, we can actually take action directly from here. So if I just want to do terminate, I can type an action of term. It'll put terminate, and then I can put James' information in here. So I don't need to navigate to his employee record. You can if you want. As soon as I do that action search, what it's going to do, it's going to kick open the termination action in our application. Like everything else, it's of course effective dated. We're terminating him today, excuse me. The next step in the process is selecting all of the supporting documentation. So the termination reason. Now, all of these reasons, all of this document, or all the steps, all of the fields you see are configurable by you. And they're also managed by the rules engine. So you can set up, for example, maybe there's certain fields that I want to be able to see as an HR business partner, but if a manager initiates the termination, I don't want them to be able to see it. So why are we terminating him? Maybe it's involuntary termination for dishonesty. I can identify things like payroll end date, last date worked, salary end date. If there's a benefits end date, I can also have fields like, are they okay to rehire? Is this a rehire candidate? If they were termed for dishonesty, probably not. Regret termination, are they eligible for salary continuation? So if we're looking at a severance or some type of package like that, we can have that identified here, or you could actually build additional fields into the terminate action and have those populated. I also see things like if I want to add additional notes on why I'm doing the termination and the ability to upload documents directly to the termination event. So if somebody provided a regret letter or termination letter, I could scan that and put it directly in the termination event. We can have additional steps like if we're going to deactivate the position, so when somebody terms, depending on the reason, we can say, yes, this position is deactivated, or no, it's not. That position will stay active and we'll fill it with somebody new. And then the system can automatically calculate things like if there's entitlement for sickness, if he has 14 days available, what the payout looks like. So in this case, James has 14 days available. I can do a quick kind of evaluation to say, you know what, if we're paying out the complete balance based on his custom rate, it'll be about $4,000 for those 12 days of vacation. Now, most importantly, from a termination perspective, is we want to ensure that nobody in the system is left as an orphan, that if a manager is terminated or moves somebody else, that those employees that he reports to get somewhere else. And that's what this last section is, you know what, before I can complete this termination, I have to do something with the employees who currently report to James Klein. And I've got a couple of options. I can either automatically move everybody up to the upper level manager, which in this case would be Jeff Hill. I can transfer everybody to a different manager. So if I don't want to send it to Jeff, maybe I want them to now roll up to Jada. I can do that. Or I can even do an individual transfer of each of Jeff's four direct reports. So I can assign maybe Jeff to be some of them, or Ben Shervin, but I can pick and choose to kind of distribute the responsibility or assignment of those managers until we get somebody else that can take this place. Now, of course, when I save this, oh, I forgot one field. It's a required field, and that's the termination reason. Oh, I thought I selected it. I guess I didn't. Involuntary termination for dishonesty is what we said. And then, of course, when I save it, this will kick off any workflow and approval processes that need to be done in the organization. So it may go to HR, it may go to payroll. Obviously, in some states, payroll has to cut a check that day and get it to the employee. So anybody that's part of this process for termination can be included. There's my approvers, and then I actually have other people that are CC'd on this workflow. So although Jeff is the one that has to go through and approve it, and Tessa Walker, once this workflow is completed, both Armando Lopez and Ben Shervin, who are actually James's peers, will be notified because these guys will be taking on employees. So we want to give them a heads up that that transaction is completed and he can move on. So that's the termination process. That's what it looks like in the SuccessFactors application, but there's certainly much more than this that occurs. So first of all, when the term completes, it will automatically kick off offboarding. So if there's offboarding steps that need to complete, which we show in the onboarding admin video, those will all be kicked off. Also, we've talked a lot about our intelligent services. With intelligent services, this event that has occurred, this termination event, it can kick off a variety of other things. That includes notifications. It includes changes to the goal plan. It can delete everything in the learning plan because, well, obviously, if he's terminated, he's not going to complete it. Most importantly, though, the intelligent services not only affects changes within the SuccessFactors application, but it can reach outside of SuccessFactors to your third-party applications and shut down whatever they need to there. So for example, if we need to send an integration to your IT team to shut down all of James's access and logins, as soon as this transaction occurs, that event will be triggered, send it over to your IT team. All of those accesses and logins can be shut down so you can no longer access the system. It could go to facilities to cancel badge access. It could go to third-party vendors. That's really the power of intelligent services, is as soon as the event occurs, we're triggering it and ensuring that whatever systems need to be touched can be touched, and really trying to remove the manual work that your HR team does because you don't need to. The technology can do it in your behalf. Anyway, that's the termination. Hopefully that gave you some insight in what we're trying to do. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me or your account executive. Thank you very much.